Hello and happy spring. We are thinking about new seeds at this time, and what are the new seeds that I would like to plant in my world and in my life right now. and It's just interesting. Sometimes we can't tell that anything is stirring. We can't feel anything. We're not noticing anything. The branches are bare. The field is fallow. And we can't see, we can't notice, we can't, uh, sometimes we can't even feel the stirring or see the stirring, but the stirring is still happening. Whether or not we can see it, it's still happening. And so um, I'm thinking about the spring, and I'm thinking about what it is that I want to plant. But also I'm thinking about how can we flourish in this time, and how can we help others to flourish, and how can we flourish and nourish the earth, and then what are the seedlings, we need to plant, either emotionally or spiritually, physically. What is it that I'm planting in my world? What is it that I'm giving? What is my great offering to each day? And each day I can offer something. Each day I have something to give. As long as I'm walking and standing and breathing, I have something to offer. But also the world has something to offer to me, and it has wisdom and gifts and blessings and miracles in every single solitary moment. And so one of the things that we can see is, we can see that everything that we have within us, any issue we might face, any difficulty that we might face, we can bring it to the world, and the world can help us. We can bring it to these beautiful beings called the trees, and we can look to the sky. We can lay our body on the earth, uh, just to listen, just to help us to remember who we are. We also have these gifts within us that we're all born with, and we're all given a body so that we can create something. So we're given these bodies so that we can make something in the world, or become something in the world, and help others to become also. So I wanted to, it's Poetry Month, and I mean, I always read poetry, not just in Poetry Month. And being a poet is something that gives me energy, and that gives me um, life, and that always shows where the seeds are that want to be planted. And so I wanted to read a couple of things, but the first is how to be a poet. And anyone can write a poem, and there are a lot of wonderful different forms to them. But sometimes it doesn't even have to be a poem, it can be a paragraph. And it's one of the ways that I find I can have a conversation with myself. I can have a conversation with a mystery. I can have a conversation with the animals and the plants and the other beings that I want to be in conversation with, that I want to have intimacy with, and that I want to share with. And so share my thoughts with, or ask questions of. So I really love this idea of how to be a poet that Wendell Berry talks about. And this is to remind myself, it says in parentheses at the beginning. So, How to Be a Poet by Wendell Berry. Make a place to sit down. Sit down, be quiet. You must depend upon affection, reading, knowledge, skill, more of each than you have inspiration, work, growing older, patience, for patience joins time to eternity. Any readers who like your work, doubt their judgment. Breathe with unconditional breath, the unconditioned air. Shun electric wire. Communicate slowly. Live a three-dimensioned life. Stay away from screens. Stay away from anything that obscures the place it is in. There are no unsacred places. There are only sacred places, and the sacralized places. There are no unsacred places. There are only sacred places and desacralized places. Accept what comes from silence. Make the best you can of it. Of the little words that come out of silence, like prayers, prayed back to the one who prays. Make a poem that does not disturb the silence from which it came. I love that last line. Accept what comes from silence. Make the best you can of it. Of the little words that come out of the silence, like prayers, prayed back to the one who prays. Make a poem that does not disturb the silence from which it came. Wow. It doesn't say desacralized places, but I'm putting desecrated places, desecrated, desecrated places. I replaced that with, I just felt like desacralized. It's just, I couldn't even say that word. I couldn't even pronounce that word, that desecrated, desecrated. So I just think that's interesting to think about, like the places that have been desacralized, that everything is sacred. And we have all of these places that have been, they have been desecrated. And I guess we have to be able to see it and pronounce it and know it and be with it in order to properly say it and properly see it and properly do something about it. Breathe with an unconditional breath, the unconditioned air, shun electric wire, communicate slowly, live a 3-dimensioned life, stay away from screens, stay away from anything that obscures the place it is in. There are no unsacred places. So I think that, when I think about spring and I think about coming into spring and I think about all of the things we know and don't know, it's so interesting because I think about, the 4 addictions that Angeles Arian researched. And the 4 addictions are the addiction to perfection, and the addiction to perfection, the remedy for the addiction to perfection is excellence and right use of power. And, the addiction to perfection is like needing to have it together and do everything right. And I just think it's so interesting to look at these 4 addictions, and they're available to us every day to be, maybe I don't need to be addicted to perfection, but I go there sometimes, like just now, and so I just think it's so interesting. And then but excellence is the remedy to that, and then surprise, being able to be surprised by things, being in that river of surprise, is something that helps us to be in our excellence. But there's also drama and intensity, the addiction to drama and intensity, and the remedy to the addiction to drama and intensity is love. If we can be loving, and if we can, if we can plant seeds of loving, and if we can plant seeds of right use of power and excellence, if we can also look at, the addiction to the need to know, the addiction to the need to know, and the remedy for the addiction to the need to know is trust, trusting the mystery and being able to trust the mystery. And then, what is the way I can trust the world, trust myself, trust all of this beautiful flourishing and nourishing that surrounds me, even maybe if I don't feel it within myself, always. And then the final one that Angeles Arian researched is the addiction to looking at what is not working instead of looking at what is working. And I think about this, and there's an amazing book that Angeles wrote, my beloved mentor wrote, called The Fourfold Way, and these are contained in The Fourfold Way. And these are things that remind us of where to focus our energy and what we can do at this time in order to plant the seeds that are most meaningful. So what are the seeds? that I want to be planting. And so I'm going to be planting several seeds this coming in this coming year and the springtime. I always think about what are the seeds that I want to nurture this year to harvest in the fall. And so uh, the seeds that I'd like to plant this year are there are many seeds, and I love in the idea of the seed is its entire future and the future of all of its beings. And so I think about, what are the seeds that I want to plant this year? And the seeds that I want to plant are seeds of love and seeds of excellence and seeds of right use of power and seeds of connection and seeds of love. I think about Bell Hook's love ethics, and I'm really wanting to plant seeds around care and connection, community, honesty, good communication. And so, what are the seeds that you would like to plant? And, which of the four addictions would you most like to let go of? Let us know in the comments. Talk soon.